Hi, I'm David Ashworth with Armstrong Local Programming, and I'm here with Fairland High School seniors, Tara Stapleton and Chandler Fawkes. And first question for you guys, I want to know what you guys are looking forward to. You guys are getting ready to finish up your season here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And what are you guys looking forward to as the season begins to come to an end?
We're definitely looking forward to state. We're hoping we'll go the furthest that we've gone this year and do really well.
I'm looking forward to going to Michigan and playing basketball again.
All right, excellent. For those of you who don't know, Tara Stapleton is signed with Michigan. She'll be playing there next season. Guys, this is a really emotional time in the upcoming weeks as you guys, as seniors, you're getting ready to leave some teammates behind. What type of message would you like to send to your teammates?
Just keep working hard and putting all the hours that we've put in the gym before and keep pushing forward and doing as best as you can.
It's about the same thing. I hope the team is as best as they were last year, and I bet they'll even be better last year.
Very good. Thank you so much. And again, I'm David Ashworth with Fairland High School seniors Tara Stapleton and Chandler Fawkes. Hi, I'm David Ashworth, and I'm here at Fairland High School with South Point High School seniors Miss Brett Justice and Andrea Bradburn. Guys, this is a big game tonight. Talk about this game and what it means to you guys as a team.
I think to me it means it's a test of our mental toughness and where we are as a team as of right now going into tournament, and also it would be big if we win because we tie for OVC and we haven't won OVC in 4 years.
All right, excellent. Now, here's something for you guys to think about. You two are seniors. You're getting ready to head off to college and to start careers and whatever you guys are going to be doing in your future. Take a look back over your high school career as basketball players and tell me who the most influential figure has been, not counting coaches, other than coaches, who has been most influential in your development?
For me, I would probably say Jalen or my granny, because they both pushed me as hard as anyone ever has, and I wouldn't be where I am without them.
Okay, Brett?
To me, it would definitely be my mom, because she always pushes me to do my best in everything I do, and I'm really grateful for my mom. So.
All right, very good. Again, I'm David Ashworth, and I'm here with South Point High School seniors Brett Justice and Andrea Bradburn.
A pleasant good evening, everyone, from the Carl York Center in Proctorville, Ohio. My name is Scotty Russell. I'm joined by David Ashworth, and we're proud to bring you Armstrong's presentation of Ohio Valley Conference ladies basketball. Tonight, a key matchup, the final regular season game in the conference for these two teams, the visiting team, the Lady Pointers of South Point, and the home team, the Lady Dragons of Fairland. And David, this promises to be a very tight and exciting matchup.
It's going to be an amazing matchup, and whoever wins tonight, for the South Point, it could be a win means a tie for the OVC championship, and for Fairland, it could be an OVC championship outright. But somebody is leaving today knowing that they are or are not the OVC champions.
And we're set for tip as Tara Stapleton, the 6'4 senior for Fairland, toes it up against a 6' senior from South Point, Brett Justice. Ball is tipped by Stapleton back to Fairland, and they take the ball across the timeline. Now, Stapleton, as I mentioned or just said, she's a 6'4 senior. An outside shot, a three-pointer attempt by Fairland, no good, followed up by Fairland. Stapleton unable to get the rebound, and South Point Andrea Bradburn comes down with the ball. Stapleton is a senior who was signed with the University of Michigan. She's going to play the post for the Wolverines for the next 4 years. Brooklyn Badger for the Pointers, gets it outside. Looks up top to Haley Rollins. She's a sophomore. Back inside the Badger. The freshman point guard for the Pointers puts it up. No good. Brett Justice the rebound, blocked by Stapleton, and here come the Dragons. Outside, working around. Bad pass that time. Ball goes out of bounds. Starting lineups for Fairland tonight. David, I think you have those for us.
Starting lineup, you have the seniors, Tara Stapleton, Bree Dickus, Chandler Fawkes, along with the juniors, Kelsey Riley and Caitlin Stone.
South Point trying to break the press. They get it outside to Bradburn for the pointer. She comes across court to Abby Winkler on the right side and back up top to Haley Rollins. Now, Brooklyn Badgett normally runs a point, and she has it on the far wing. Back underneath to Rollins, blocked by Stapleton. You're going to see that a lot. She set a state record 2 years ago. A breakaway layup, and it is good. 2-point basket by Bree Dickus.
Here you're going to see the pressure by Fairland again. That's one thing that they want to do is pressure the South Point team, and you're going to see a lot of full court pressure tonight. for the Dragons.
You know, you can put a lot of pressure up front when you have somebody like Stapleton underneath that just distracts shots. As you see right there, Winkler had to adjust, unable to do it. Now they throw a bingo pass down court. Basket is up and good. Nice body control by Caitlin Stone, and Fairland takes a quick 4-0 lead. Traveling at the 6:29 mark, and South Point having a little bit of trouble. Let's take a quick look at South Point starters, David.
And for the Pointers, we have the sophomore, Haley Rollins, the freshman, Brooklyn Badgett, seniors, Brett Justice, junior, Abby Winkler, and senior, Andrea Bradburn.
And that was a 3-point bomb that time by Chandler Fox, and Fairland's out to a 7-0 lead. Now, these two teams played earlier in the year at South Point. Fairland was able to pull that game out, and they actually pulled away pretty handily. Double-digit win that time. And South Point does break the timeline. Haley Rollins looks inside to Andrea Bradburn. Bradburn drives the lane and gets the bucket for the Pointers.
Andrea being extremely sneaky, extremely careful in the paint, with Tara Stapleton playing defense for the Dragons.
You know, that's a rare commodity in this area. You know, to have somebody 6'4" that's pretty athletic and can make people adjust for shots. I mentioned as a sophomore, she set the state record for block shots, over 130 block shots as a sophomore. That's an amazing amount of block shots. Another three-pointer, and once again, that's Chandler Fox. She buries her second three in a row, and it's a 10-2 lead.
The Dragons jumping out quick, applying full court pressure, along with a couple of three-pointers by Chandler Fox.
Brett Justice for two, just outside or inside the three-point arc. Rebound by Riley, Kelsey Riley. She brings it across the timeline, and the Dragons set up their offense. Now, South Point's going to try to lag back. Right now they're in 2-3. They're going to try to keep a body on Stapleton if they can. The ball's tipped out of bounds by Abby Winkler, and Fairland remains in control.
Now this pointer defense looks like a 2-3. They do run a 2-3 man hybrid, where if your man has the ball, they're going to come out on you and play man defense. And it's they call that defense gold, and it appears like a zone until you get into it, and then it has a lot of the characteristics of a man defense.
Absolutely, it's almost like a triangle defense. Inside the Stapleton, 2-point bucket. That's our first two for the night. A nice read that time by Chandler Fox to get inside to the big senior center for the Lady Dragons.
It was an excellent swing pass, and they had the defense pinned behind Stapleton.
That's a personal foul. It's a first foul on Chandler Fox, her first team first here in the first half. South Point on the far side. They get a ball into Brooklyn Badgett, their point guard, and Brooklyn is a freshman. You know, she didn't play any JV at all this year, exclusively as a varsity player, and has done a great job for the Pointers. That was a big question mark coming into this season, finding somebody for the point.
It was huge. That was the number one concern after last year. Who's going to run this offense?
Rollins for three, no good. Brett Justice with the rebound, kicks it out to Brooklyn. The ball's batted around on the floor.
Excellent.
And timeout by Fairland. I'll tell you what, let's take a quick brief timeout. We'll be right back on the Armstrong Cable Network. Fans, welcome back to the Carl York Center in beautiful downtown Proctorville, Ohio. I'm Scotty Russell along with David Ashworth, bringing you exciting OVC ladies basketball action. Right now, the Fairland Lady Dragons hold a 12-2 lead, 4:18 remaining here in the first quarter, and Fairland has the ball in their own backcourt. So
far, Chandler Fox, she's 2 for 2 from the three-point arc. She's someone who's getting a lot of offers from colleges as high as Division II, and there she goes again.
Just outside, rebound by Stapleton, up and off the rim. Brooklyn Badgett battling for the ball. That's going to be off of Fairland, and South Point takes over. And you mentioned Chandler Fox. She's a 5'6" senior, left-handed, has a beautiful shot from the outside on either side of the three-point line.
She's had offers from Georgetown, the Division II Georgetown, Marietta, and Alderson Broaddus. And she's going to have some choices to make coming up this offseason on what she wants to do in college and where she wants to go.
Haley Rollins drives inside. Ball's batted away by Stapleton once again, and here come the Lady Dragons. Up top to their point guard. That's Bree Dickus. She's a 5'7" senior. Kicks it outside to Fox. Back across to Dickus. Inside to Stapleton. She tries to pull it down, unable to. Good defense by Andrea Bradburn and Brett Justice that time for the Pointers. Bradburn has the basketball, breaks the timeline, tries to drive up the lane, puts up a shot. Hello and goodbye once again.
I'll tell you, I like the way South Point's taking it to the rim.
Yes.
But once they get there, that shot isn't going to be there like it is in a normal game. They're going to have to turn around, pivot, kick it back out, and find something else.
Or draw a foul. I mean, that, then maybe that's part of it too, is try to get somebody in foul trouble. It's a three-point attempt up and no good. Rebound, Haley Rollins. And here come the blue and gold pointers.
That shot was from Caitlin Stone. She is the leading scorer for the Dragons.
Andrea Bradford saves her for the pointers, so they don't get an over and back call. Inside to Brooklyn Badgett, just a little bit too tall. Brooklyn, she's about 5'6", and she needed to be about 5'8" to catch that one. Fairland takes back over just in front of their bench, in front of Coach John Buchanan and his assistants, Katie Fuller and Adam Alt.
It's nice to see Coach Buchanan before the game during the anthem. He was with his son and another one of his son's friends, and they were dressed just like the coach with their white dress shirts and khakis and their ties.
Pass deep inside. Nice look that time up and no good. We're going to have a foul. That was a beautiful look inside that time by Caitlin Stone. She's fouled Riley underneath. Fouls on Brett Justice. That's going to be her first, and it's a team first as well.
Kelsey Riley goes to the line. She's going to be shooting 2. She is what the coaches call their ace. She is really good all the way around the basketball court. Good shooter, good at defense, good rebounding. Whatever they need her to do, she can do it.
13-2 with 2:36 remaining here in the first period. Second shot is no good, rebounded by Haley Rollins. She kicks it to Brooklyn Badgett. A little bit of pressure, but not a lot that time by Fairland on the missed free throw. Andrea Bradburn mishandles a little bit, picks it back up. Kicks it over to Haley Rollins, a sophomore guard, and up top to Abby Winkler, the other sophomore guard. Badgett with the ball. It's going to be tipped and knocked out of bounds. Stays in possession of the pointers. 2:18 remaining here in the first. South Point trails 13-2 to the Lady Dragons. They've come out on fire and have done a good job getting several people in the scoring column.
South Point has got to find a way to score.
Justice from outside, no good. Tried a bank shot, not able to get it in. Brooklyn Badgett fights it, gets the ball. Andrea Bradburn does a layup, and she does draw a foul. Let's see who they're going to have the foul on. It's going to be on Tara Stapleton. That's her first, team foul number 2 at the line, shooting 2 for the pointers.
Excellent job by Bradburn drawing the foul. So far, all that they've got are a lot of swatted shots once they entered the lane, and Bradburn was able to draw the foul there.
They've had more shots blocked than they've had go in the basket. Not a good stat. Bradburn, she paid her country club dues and got the country club roll that time on the rim.
You always bring your humor with you,
For all
Scott.
your golfers out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Second shot up and in. And Bradburn has 4 for the pointers. She has all 4 of the points at this point. Fairland. Outside, Falks for a 3. I'll tell you what, she's got it dialed in tonight. She's 3 out of 4 from the arc.
Defensively, I look for South Point to switch it up, try something new, try something different, because what they're doing is giving too much outside area for their outside shooters. And Chandler Falks, if she is anywhere close past half court, she's in range.
Fast break that time by Fairland. They had a 3-on-1, not able to capitalize. And here come the pointers. Brooklyn Badgett across the timeline outside to Andrea Bradburn. She puts it up for 3, and it's good.
That puts Bradburn at 7 points.
16-7, Fairland leads. 1:13 remaining here in the first. Some token pressure up top by South Point. And as you mentioned, if they drop back and there's a lob inside to Stapleton, if they drop off and go back into Stapleton, then Falks lights it up from the outside. So it's pick your poison right now. Brett Justice drives, going to be blocked. She gets her own rebound, puts it back up left-handed, blocked again. Ball is loose, crosses the timeline. Falks looks across the lane and finds an absolutely wide open Caitlin Stone for 2.
Poor defense by the Pointers getting back. Extremely lazy.
You know, it's transition defense, and they've had a lot of easy breaks, Fairland has. Inside the Abby Winkler, no good. She had to misdirect her shot. Ball comes down, and here come the Lady Dragons as Falks leads the way. Another wide open pass. South Point may have caught a break there. She was absolutely wide open on the lane.
Yeah, the Pointers are being lackadaisical getting back on defense.
3-pointer, no good. Rebound by Fairland. Blocked by Justice. That was Bree Dickus, unable to get the shot to go. 5 seconds remaining. Here comes Bradburn. Kicks it outside to Badgett for 3 at the buzzer,
Wow,
and it
she
counts.
got it. Brooklyn Badgett, the freshman.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break if we can, real quick. It's a 20-10 lead at the end of the one for the Lady Dragons of Fairland. We'll be right back on the Armstrong Cable Network. Welcome back, fans of the Carl York Center here in Proctorville, Ohio. End of one period. Fairland Lady Dragons lead the South Point Pointers 20-10. Now, David, you had a couple things you want to talk about defensively for the Pointers there in that first quarter.
Defensively, look for them to come out with a different look. But it seems like what you said, pick your poison. Once they open up and give them some lane area, Stapleton's getting some baskets whenever they drop back to surround and crowd up that lane is going to give Chandler Fawkes some looks. And Chandler Fawkes is coming into this game averaging 10 points, and she's almost there already from the first quarter.
Yes, she had 9 in the first quarter. South Point gets opening possession. It's Winkler over to Andrea Bradburn. Looks across to Brooklyn Badgett, the freshman. She's trying to get inside to Bonnie Heilman. Bonnie has checked in for the Pointers.
Bonnie Heilman is the senior. She's a really good rebounder.
Yeah, very aggressive rebounding, and as you notice, Fairland does not have Tara Stapleton in the ball game. And here come the Lady Dragons, led by Caitlin Stone, kicks it off to the left side. That was over to Taylor Perry.
Taylor Perry is usually a starter for the Dragons. Tonight she did not start, and Abby Winkler for the Pointers dropping 2.
Abby Winkler drops it. 20-12, Fairland leads. 7:18 remaining here in the second quarter. Fairland moving the ball around. Now, this is not unusual for them to take Stapleton out of the game, give her a breather, and give their offense a different look.
Notice into the game for the Dragons, not only 24 Taylor Perry, but also 13 Mackenzie Riley.
And that's a three-pointer that time by Caitlin Stone. And I'm telling you what, they're lighting it up from outside the arc. That's her 4th three-pointer today so far. South Point just can't get any rhythm. It seems like they get 2 points, and Fairland comes back with 3 or has a 4-point run against them. Brooklyn Badgett on a little runner. Ball hits the top and does hit the suspension up there. Now, the rule is in basketball, the entire backboard, the front, side, bottom, and top are all in play. Now, if you hit any supporting beams, which is what happened there, then the ball becomes dead, or if you hit the back of the backboard. So top sides and bottom are all in play unless they hit a support system. Fairland breaks the timeline, working the ball outside. South Point in the man-to-man. Shot goes up, no good. John Buchanan wanted to foul. Inside that time, no good again. Shot off mark by Riley, and here comes Brooklyn Badgett and the Pointers. She drives the lane, puts up a left-handed layup, no good as it was blocked, saved by Fairland, but actually South Point comes up with the ball. Andrea Bradburn drives the lane up and good.
Bradburn comes from a long line of South Point ballers, including her cousin, Jalen Bradburn. She is number 2 on the all-time scoring list for South Point, behind Kathy Ball from the early 80s.
South Point steals it. They trail by 9. Here comes Abby Winkler, drives, and she's going to be fouled. Winkler will be at the line shooting 2. The foul, I believe, is going to be on Caitlin Stone. That's her first, team foul number 3. At the line shooting 2 for the Pointers is Abby Winkler.
South Point came out the second quarter, and they're looking so much better, both defensively and offensively, mainly offensively because of their defense, and I'm sure that the personnel that both of these teams have something to do with that. And here comes Stapleton back into the ball game. Checking in for the Pointers, looks like Bree Bacon, Lakin Adams, and
Haley Rollins.
Coming back is Haley Rollins. Now, Brianna Bacon is a neat individual to talk about. She leads the team in scoring. She's not a starter, but she comes in and will drop a lot of points in a small amount of time. It doesn't take long for her to heat up. They call her the microwave.
The microwave, yes. It's a second shot is up and in by Winkler. 23-16, Fairland leads, 5:35 remaining here in the second quarter. South Point in the man-to-man, that's Lakin Adams and Tara Stapleton. Stapleton turns and puts in a bucket. 25-16, 9-point lead. Here comes Andrea Bradburn, breaks the pressure up top, dumps it inside to Lakin Adams. Lakin is going to be called for a travel.
Last time down the floor, Lakin chose to be behind Stapleton. Let's see if they choose to front her this time.
You know, that's a lot of times that's a coaching option. You know, do you want to front her? Do you want to play behind her? And it depends on where the basketball's at too, where it's coming from. So right now, Lakin inside is trying to front her. She does. Stapleton gets a lob pass and up and in.
What do you do?
Yeah, exactly.
Without double teaming her, I don't think you do anything.
It's a steal that time by Taylor Perry. She looks inside, finds an open lady. South Point gets the rebound as Lakin Adams gets on the floor and gets the ball. We have a timeout, South Point. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. We're going to be right back on the Armstrong Cable Network. Basketball fans, welcome back once again to the Carl York Center, home of the Fairland Dragons here in Proctorville, Ohio, for this OVC matchup between two of the top teams in the OVC. South Point Pointers come in 17-3 on the season. The Fairland Dragons are 16-3, and these are the two of the three top seeds in the district. Oak Hill was the number 2 seed. Fairland got the number 1 seed, and South Point was number 3 for the tournament brackets. All three of those teams got byes in the first round. South Point checks the ball in. Haley Rollins penetrates and is able to score.
Haley Rollins, the sophomore, the coaches really like her. She has really good size for a guard, and she is the team's leading rebounder.
She hustles. That time they get inside the Stapleton and somebody smacks it away, and Rollins comes up with the basketball. She's a 5'8 sophomore, Haley Rollins is. A great softball player as well. A great all-around athlete. Outside, Abby Winkler goes for 3, no good. Ball is tipped out by Lakin Adams, and Fairland will get the ball back. South Point back in their regular defense. They're not putting any pressure up top at this time. They trail 27-18.
I was talking to the Fairland coaches before the game, and some keys to the game for them. They said they're looking for the best available shots, and so far their shot selection has been amazing, and it's been proven because of their high percentage.
Well, you know, the key is you've got to grow inside, and we say this a lot, and she's a University of Michigan product, or she's going to be going there. You've got a girl like Stapleton who it will just be easy just to throw the ball inside just like that as she gets it on a loose ball and puts it up and in for Tara Stapleton. That's her 10th point. It would be easy just to dump it inside and continue to do that, but they have other weapons as well. South Point is a well-rounded team as well. They don't have a lot of inside play, especially on a game like tonight, but that time Lakin Adams gets a nice pass from Bree Bacon. 2 points, Lakin Adams.
And Taylor Perry, who is normally the starting point guard for the Dragons, she's bringing it up the court. She did not start tonight. The team opted to start heavy on the seniors.
Inside this time. Nice little lane. Taylor Perry, she scores.
Taylor Perry was left alone defensively and made the pointers pay.
South Point across the timeline. Bree Bacon being pressured, being harassed that time. Nice. They trapped her on the side, and we've got a push on the outside there. That's on Mackenzie Riley. That's going to be her first, team foul number 4. South Point will take the ball out on the side. Haley Rollins will be inbounding for the Pointers. She finds Bree Bacon in the corner. Back to Rollins. Rollins drives the lane, gets it up. Shot is blocked. And Coach Adams is upset. He wanted to foul, and honestly, a lot of contact down there. Nobody blew the whistle, and he's upset about it. Inside, South Point, Lakin Adams with the block. Here come the Pointers. Andrea Bradburn breaks the timeline. Looks to her left to Bree Bacon, says, no, I'll take it myself. Kicks it back out to Abby Winkler. The left-handed jumper sticks in the basket. We're going to go alternate possession, jump ball, and it's going to go to Fairland.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Bradburn, excellent job driving into the lane, drawing attention, drawing people down, and then kicking it back out to Abby Winkler.
Right now, one of the officials is having a conversation with the 2 post players, Lakin Adams for South Point, Tara Stapleton for Fairland. When you get in a conference game, 2 very evenly matched teams in a senior night atmosphere, it's going to happen. There's going to be 2 big girls down there just banging on each other. That's what's going on right now. Lakin is not backing down 1 inch. Inside to Stapleton, up and in. 2:20 remaining. Fairland has a 13-point lead at 33-20. Bradburn across the timeline, looks to Bree Bacon, up for 3. It's going to be blocked and no good. Stapleton with the rebound. She gets it outside to Taylor Perry, and here come the Fairland Dragons. Kicks it outside, and the ball's going to go out of bounds. South Point ball. Brooklyn Magic's going to check back in for the Pointers. Coming back in for Fairland is Caitlin Stone.
Now, Brooklyn Badgett, she is the first South Point starting freshman since Kayla Fletcher. Kayla Fletcher, someone who scored 1,400 points for the Pointers during her tenure there, and someone who was all-state, first team. And so Brooklyn Badgett has some nice shoes to follow.
I tell you what, she's no longer a freshman. Obviously, she's a sophomore now, according to playing time. She's done a great job. Inside to Lakin Adams, ball goes out of bounds. Fairland takes over. Brooklyn came in, during summer practices and played a lot of the point at that level as well. It's a big difference from 8th grade middle school basketball to varsity high school basketball. A huge difference, and I think she's adapted very well.
Yeah, she not only adapted well, but she's been progressing extremely well, especially offensively. You're going to see her drive to the lane a lot more in this latter part of the season. Another thing she does well, she'll post up. One of the better post players that I've actually seen. If she can draw her man down into the paint, she'll post him up.
She has great body control. Right now, it's Abby Winkler up top for the Pointers and a left-handed guard for the Pointers. Inside to Andrea Bradburn. Lakin Adams does a good job, pulls down the rebounder, gets it loose. Andrea Bradburn follows up. Lakin battling again. Stapleton able to come down with it. Nobody to get it to. Finally kicks it off, and here come the Lady Dragons. Outside three-pointer goes in.
Caitlin Stone, the coach has said, if they want to have a shooter shooting the ball, it's Caitlin Stone.
The 9-point lead went to 16 in a matter of less than 2 minutes. Haley Rollins saves it, but kicks it into a Fairland Dragon. Brooklyn Badgett trying to play some defense, able to cut her off. Ball's going to go out of bounds off of South Point. 43.3 seconds remaining here in the second, and checking back into the ball game is Chandler Fawkes for Fairland.
Excellent job defensively by Brooklyn Badgett. That's what you teach kids. You beat the offensive player to the spot.
Fawkes for three from the corner. She buries it. That's her fourth three-pointer here in the first half.
If she's open and she shoots it, good chance it's going to go in.
A 19-point game just a few moments ago. Single digits, now back to 19. Fairland intercepts it. Here comes Fawkes for a layup. She makes it, and she gets fouled.
Interesting about Chandler Fawkes, she is also an extremely talented softball player. She's not only getting looks from colleges for basketball, but also softball as well. And the coaches think that she's probably leaning more toward softball. She is an extremely talented pitcher.
Fouls on Haley Rollins. Basket counted by Fawkes. Coming into the ball game for Fairland is Taylor State. Also in the ball game, Bree Dickus. Basket is good by Fawkes. I think South Point will set up for one final shot. Outside to Brett Justice. She drives, tries to kick it back out. It's going to be knocked away. Andrea Bradburn goes down to the hardwood. Kicked off the outside, back across the middle. A little left-handed push jumper that time by Jenna Fawkes. It's a 24-point game. We're going to go to halftime with Fairland, the Lady Dragons, leading the South Point Pointers 44-20. When we come back in a few moments, we'll have some halftime statistics and some more information for you here on the Armstrong Sports Network. I want to take a quick second to go over some halftime statistics. First for the visiting team, South Point. They were led in scoring the first half by Andrea Bradburn, 9 points, 4 for Abby Winkler, 3 for Brooklyn Badgett, 2 for Haley Rollins, and 2 for Lakin Adams for a total of 20 points. Fairland was led in scoring by Chandler Fawkes with 15, 12 by Tara Stapleton, 10 for Caitlin Stone, 2 each for Jenna Fawkes, Taylor Perry, Bree Dickus, and 1 for Kelsey Riley for a total of 44. Earlier tonight, this is senior night. Earlier tonight, we had our camera crew here. We want to take a quick look at senior night activities and festivities that took place here earlier tonight at the Carl York Center. Let's take a look at those very quickly.
Next, welcome Brianna Davis. Teresa Liu, registered bone marrow donor. She is planning to attend Morehead State or Marietta for the merging of pre-med and space science for cancer research. Jenny Fox. Next we have Tara Stapleton. Basketball for 7 years. Tara was a member of the West Virginia Thunder AAU basketball organization, which holds 4 state titles, 2 GBA national titles, 1 AAU national title. In Ohio, Tara is a 2-time OVC and District Player of the Year, a 2-time first-team All-State team, a 2003 Division III Player of the Year. She set a state record in 2011 for the most blocks in one season with 107. In 2012, she broke the blocking record for 109 blocks in one season. She holds a record in Ohio for 12th all-time field goal percentage with 62.6%. She's also an All-American McDonald's nominee. She will be attending the University of Michigan on a full basketball scholarship. She will be majoring in special education and plans on playing in the WNBA after college. Tara Stapleton. Recognizing the senior players from South Point this time. Number 5, Bonnie Howland. Number 10, Hannah Perry. Number 12, Greg Justice. Number 14, Heather Willow. Number 21, Brianna Bacon. Number 24, Lincoln Adams. Number 32, Armstrong. And number 33, Taylor Bradway. We'd like to thank all of the senior ball players and parents and guardians for the support through the years, and good luck.
Fans, welcome back to Proctorville, Ohio. Again, it's senior night here at Fairland High School as the Lady Dragons play host to the South Point Lady Pointers. David, at one point, South Point got back into this game and only trailed by 6 or 8 points. Now they're down 24 at half after a big run at the end of the first half by the Lady Dragons.
I'll tell you what, the Pointers have the major work cut out for them, but they're up against a really good team. Again, number 1 seed heading into the tournament. Fairland's number 1, and Fairland is going to play the winner of the Minford-Portsmouth game. And then we have number 3 seed, South Point. Now, South Point went to the seeding, just a little bit better record. However, the losses for South Point included 1 loss to Fairland. The losses for Fairland include a couple big dogs, Ashland and Spring Valley, some huge schools.
Well, that's exactly right. Oak Hill comes in. They only have 1 loss. They're the number 2 seed. I had the opportunity to see them play a couple weeks ago, and that's a good program by Coach Hale up there in Oak Hill, Ohio. You know, as an official, I get to travel quite a bit and see a lot of these teams. And I'll tell you, this is some of the best talent in the area, regardless of what state they're in. These Lady Dragons are a tough team. South Point is as well. They've struggled tonight, and it's not indicative of their season or how things have gone for them this season. They struggled against Fairland last time they played in a very similar situation, David. They went at halftime down quite a few points after being in the game early and just couldn't put together a string of points to get them back in position. Coach Buchanan does a great job there at Fairland of working with what he has as a team, not just Tara Stapleton, but everybody. People like Chandler Fox, who's absolutely lit it up today. 4 out of 5 from the three-point line. Can't ask for much more than that.
No, you can. You talked about this program for Fairland. Buchanan just recently was the Division III State Coach of the Year. The last 2 years, they were 23-1. They finished the season 20-0, and by the time they reached the regional tournament, they were 23-1. That again, that's the last 2 seasons. This season, 16-3 so far. So an excellent program. The last 7 years, including this year, because this year the OVC Championship is going to go to either Fairland and South Point, or just Fairland. So the last 7 years, the OVC Championship has gone to either South Point or Fairland. 4 years for South Point until Fairland started their run 3 years ago. This would be number 3 for them.
South Point takes the ball to open the second half. Brooklyn Badgett up top. Pressure, a 1-2-2 zone by Fairland, or a matchup zone by Fairland. You know, South Point, if you look at the boys' schedule as well, South Point and Fairland are 1 and 2 in the OVC in the boys. Brett Justice, shot was tipped that time, and here come the Lady Dragons across the timeline. Kicked it back out front. It's going to be caught, intercepted by Abby Winkler, and the left-hander crosses the timeline and gets it over to Haley Rollins, over to Brett Justice in the corner. 3-pointer, no good. Rebound by Fairland, and Taylor Perry brings the ball across the court.
I want to make a correction earlier. I noticed I was noting Fairland's losses. Their losses were to Jackson, Huntington High from West Virginia, and Boyd County. Some pretty tough programs, and they beat Ashland and Spring Valley, 2 huge programs. So they have a lot of really strong victories under their belt.
Yes, they do. And I was here I saw earlier this year, I happened to see, as there was a 5-second violation against the Pointers, I was able to see Jackson play here. Also, Eastern Megs, which is one of the top teams in the state. They have a young lady there that's signed a Division I contract, or Division I with the University of Dayton. As Fairland gets the ball in, it's going to be on the court. It's going to be out off of South Point, going back to Fairland as it bounced off of Haley Rollins' forehead. 7 minutes remaining. No score added to the second half yet. 44-20. Fairland leads.
We were talking about the impending state tournament coming up. South Point, number 3, will play number 6, Ironton. So pretty tough game for the first round for the Pointers.
Very tough. It's a very aggressive Ironton team. They like to push it up and down the court. I saw them play Rock Hill a couple days ago, and they just manhandled the Red Women of Rock Hill. So the ball goes out of bounds. It's a missed layup by the Pointers. 6:46 remaining here in the third. A 44-20 lead for the Lady Dragons. And right now they're just slowing the ball down. Taylor Perry taking her time getting it across the timeline.
1+ for the Pointers heading into that tournament game against Ironton. They beat Ironton earlier this year at Ironton. Nice.
2-point basket that time. Kelsey Riley,
as I said earlier, the team's ace, and she's also getting some recruiting attention from colleges.
Brett Justice, spin move, unable to score from a nice pass from Andrea Bradburn, but that's the Tara Stapleton factor. Andrea not able to get a layup off. I mean, she had an open shot, but Tara Stapleton shows up. And there's another 2-point basket for Kelsey Riley.
Excellent ball movement, Stone to Riley.
Justice in for a layup, and apparently Tara Stapleton said the bank is closed.
Here's the thing about the Pointers. Whenever they get into games like this, and their losses so far this year have been to Fairland, to Athens, a very nice D2 school, and also to Greenup County. But you drop them into a game against Fairland, and they struggled severely last time against Fairland, and it's almost like a foreign country to them. All of a sudden they're seeing the likes of Tara Stapleton and the shooting of Chandler Fawkes, and it's tough to deal with, and it's things that they don't see often.
They haven't been able to get any momentum at all. They score 2, Fairland scores 4, South Point scores 6, Fairland scores 6. Just not able to get any momentum going at all. That's going to be a spot foul that time. Personal foul is going to be on Chandler Fawkes. That's her second, team foul number 1 here. In the second.
And I think at this point, the Pointers in the back of their mind are thinking, we don't want to get beat by 35, 40 points.
No, I mean that's the they play again tomorrow. They play at Lawrence County tomorrow. As Fairland scores once again, that time as Taylor Perry. It's now a 30-point game, but you got to put this game behind. I mean, let's be honest. It's 5:13 remaining in the third. It would take one of the biggest comebacks in the girls basketball history to pull this off. So you put that behind you. You try to build some positives now. Don't let it get any bigger. Dig into this lead. Get some good quality playing time from your starters, also from your subs. This time Fairland rebounds, gets the ball, kicks it over. Layup is up and good by Taylor Perry.
And that is a pass from Caitlin Stone.
and South Point cannot get anything going. A great job by Fairland. Their defense has really turned it up. Not a lot of open shots for the Pointers. When they do get them, just like right there, Tara Stapleton runs at the player, makes them make a decision. Put it way over top of me or adjust your shot. Haley Rollins from outside, no good. Brett Justice with the rebound. She goes inside, blocked once again. That's at least the 8th block tonight. I read an interview as Andrea Bradburn from 3, no good, rebounded by Falks, and here she goes for a left-hand layup. No good. Good defense that time by Andrea Bradburn. And she came out of bounds and was the first to touch the ball without reestablishing. I read an article about Tara Stapleton where she originally had signed to go to the University of Minnesota and then decided to change it and go with the University of Michigan. And she felt that the tempo that the University of Michigan plays fit her style better, meaning they're going to look inside a lot more for the post. She's not a player that's going to run up and down the court, with a lot of layups. She's one that plays good, tough defense inside, is a force inside on the defensive end, and offensively, lots of rebounds, lots of turnaround jumpers, lots of stuff inside the 12-foot range.
One thing the Pointers are doing better in the second half is rebounding. And that was one of the big things that I noticed earlier in the first half. Even whenever you're matched up against Stapleton, she's going to make her baskets. But the big thing are those second chance shots, and Fairland was getting a lot, and it was really poor boxing out by the Pointers, and they're doing a better job of it the second half.
Yes, they are. As the Fairland comes up, they're still trailing by 32. Fairland is slowing it down considerably. Brooklyn Badgett putting pressure on the point. Kicks it back around to the right side. Inside jumper, no good. And ball's going to go to South Point.
Yeah, you talk about the speed of the game, and Fairland is slowing it down just greatly from that first half. Talking to the coaches, they said that's one of the things that they want to do is they want to speed the game. Full court pressure, something that they like to call mayhem. And they were doing that successfully the first half, and now that they have this huge lead, they're just trying to slow it back down. Yeah,
Bree Bacon that time gets a nice little roll, gets her first 2 points. This is equivalent to a football team more or less running an off tackle now. They're not going to pass a lot at this point as an offensive team. They're going to run their set offense. This gives them an opportunity, Fairland, to see what they can do offensively with the set offense. Bacon intercepts. Ball's going to be saved by Brooklyn Badgett on the far side. She drives, puts a shot up, no good. Brett Justice there with the rebound. Justice kicks it out front. Back to Badgett in the corner, 3-pointer. Bounces high off the rim. Andrea Bradburn saves it. Back to Badgett once again, drives the lane. Is hit by Stapleton and gets a bank shot.
Nice. Nice floater in the lane by Brooklyn Badgett. And Bree Bacon back in the lineup. Bree Bacon leading the team in scoring, almost 12 points per game.
Pointers a man-to-man. Brett Justice inside with Tara Stapleton. Bree Bacon up top on the point on Perry, out top to Falks. That's a bomb that time. No good. She was a good 6 feet outside the arc. Just a little bit long with her shot. Pointers take over. Fairland still putting pressure, full court pressure on the ball.
And I don't think anybody from the Fairland coaching staff has a problem with Chandler Falks taking that shot.
Not at all. Oh, and that goes out of bounds off of the foot of Andrea Bradburn. Fairland takes back over.
Fairland has 4 seniors. South Point coming in with 7. So this is going to be a tough year for both teams. They're going to lose a lot of quality players.
You lose quality points, you lose quality defenders. Both teams will next year. South Point will be especially hit hard. They'll have a couple 3 starters back, but as we get inside to Tara Stapleton for 2, but you're going to have to replace almost 90% or 80% of your points next year for the Pointers. And same way with Fairland. They're going to have to replace a lot as well.
Well, the bigger struggle with South Point is they're probably going to be looking at some 8th graders coming up and possibly giving them a look for them to get some minutes and on the varsity level, which is never good for any team.
Rebound by Stapleton. We'll have a jump ball. You know, the Pointers JV team has some good players down there. Olivia Abner's a good post player. Brianna Russell's a good post and forward player. You know, you have a ball handler like You have a ball handler, Mallory Wells, up top for the Pointers. You have some girls coming up. Mackenzie Fugit, a nice wing player as well. So those are 3 or 4, 5 girls there that had a good amount of quality JV minutes that can contribute as well, hopefully early next year for the Pointers.
Yeah, and you talk about post play. Pretty much all of the post positions on varsity this year are going to be gone for next year. So those young players that you talked about, Brandon Russell and even
Olivia Abner, yeah.
Barbara Collins, and especially the sophomore Olivia Abner, she's going to be relied on heavily next year.
That's exactly right. You know, they're losing their entire inside game next year. Coach Adams has talked about that before. They're losing 8 seniors, and most of the post play. So, you have to look at the girls. And there are some size coming up. Abner's 5'11", Brianna Russell's 5'9" or 5'10". So those are 2 big girls that can play and are going to have to step it up, I would say, next year for the Pointers. At the line shooting for the Pointers, Haley Rollins. She connects on both. Excuse me, 1 of 2.
You have 3 starters returning for the Pointers next year. Brooklyn Badgett, Haley Rollins, and Abby Winkler.
Inside. Shot is up and good. That was Bree Dickus. That's her her 4th point of the night. Outside, Brett Justice, no good. Rebound, Stapleton. 50 seconds left here in the 3rd. Fairland owns a 31-point lead at 56-25.
Let's talk about some returners for Fairland. They have 4 starters coming back, 3 starters and their 6th man, Mackenzie Riley, the sophomore Taylor Perry, juniors Caitlin Stone and Kelsey Riley, and then again Mackenzie Riley, who the coaches love here in Proctorville. They're all returning next year, including a sophomore player that I saw in the JV game, Molly Morris, who was fantastic ball handler, extremely tough player. I really liked her from the JV level, so a lot of talent on that Fairland bench.
Yeah, the cupboards aren't completely bare. They're going to have to reshelve them and move some of the cans around a little bit. You do have a ball handler coming back for South Point. You do have 2 other guards. So your guard position is in good hands for the Pointers. And looking at next year as Winkler drives, no good. Stapleton providing the fence and defense. 3 seconds. 3-pointer by Haley Rollins at the buzzer, no good. We're going to take a quick break. Fairland leads 58-25 on the Armstrong Sports Network. Welcome back to the Carl York Center as the South Point Pointers and the Fairland Dragons tee it up in an OVC ladies matchup. Fairland leads 58-25 as we head into the 4th quarter. David, I'm going to give you a trivia question. See if you get this right. When a player has a basketball and is being closely guarded, what is the maximum amount of time they can have the basketball while closely guarded without it being a violation?
I believe 5 seconds, Scott.
You are incorrect. And we'll get to that in just a second. There's a penalty or a foul on the play. The foul was on Jenna Fox. That's her first team foul, number 3 at the line. Shooting Bonnie Heilman for the Pointers.
One thing about Jenna Fox that the coach has said, whenever she's in the game, she brings a lot of energy to the table, and it kind of changes the atmosphere.
Absolutely. As Heilman sets for her next free throw. It's short as well. The correct answer for the trivia question: how many seconds can a player have the basketball in their possession while being closely guarded without it being a violation? You said the answer was 5. I said incorrect. The actual answer is 12 seconds.
Huh.
Let me explain that. If a player has the ball in their hand like Tara Stapleton.
And they begin to dribble, and then they stop.
You got it. They've got 4 seconds to get rid of it if they're holding on to it. Once they start a dribble, they've got another 4 seconds before it's another violation. And then if they start it, pick the ball up again.
Another 4 seconds.
You got it before it's a violation. Total of 12. A lot of times fans will watch a game and say, that's 5 seconds, which means they had their 4 seconds of legal time. That 5th second, they should have been penalized. But they don't understand. They started with the ball in their hand, then they dribbled, then they got it back in their hand again. So there's a little trivia for you. Here's another trivia. You ready for one more?
Sure, Scott.
Okay, right now, South Point getting ready to check the ball in. What if Abby Winkler accidentally stepped on the out-of-bounds line? Not across it, but on the line.
I believe on the line is still out of bounds.
You got it. Most coaches, fans will say, hey, she stepped on the line. Yes, she did. She's still out of bounds. Now, if she steps across the line, of course, it would be a violation. So I learned you something here today. Fairland inside, no good.
Nice, that was Mackenzie Riley.
Rebound Stapleton, that's not a recording. That's just lots of contact inside. And I'll tell you, the official just letting him play it out right now. Andrea Bradburn drives the lane, no good. She's fouled.
Andrea Bradburn actually having a pretty good night tonight for the Pointers. You don't notice it as much because of the score, because of other things, but she definitely looks like a seasoned veteran.
Yep, Mackenzie Riley was a culprit. That's her third foul. The line shooting 2, Andrea Bradburn for the Pointers.
Mackenzie Riley, the Fairland coaches say that she may be the best rebounder on the team. And although she comes in off the bench, they say that she could probably start anywhere else in the area. And they say also defensively she can guard anyone, 1 through 5.
She has good size, you know, and she does a good job all across the way, defensively and offensively both. She's a 5'11 junior. As you said, she can post up with anybody. She can play good defense on anyone. We've seen that tonight. Andrea Bradburn putting pressure. And Jenna Fawkes takes it to the hoops. 60-26. 6:30 remaining here in the fourth period. Badgett outside to Winkler. Winkler looking around. She's going to be fouled.
And Andrea Bradburn is going to be shaken up near half court. Andrea Bradburn is a 3-year starter for the Pointers. So she's seen the most time on the floor of any of these South Point players. And again, I mentioned her cousin Jalen scored over 1,500 points while she was at South Point. She was a Division I recruit herself.
So between myself and Jalen Bradburn, we've scored over 1,500 points as a team then.
Excellent, Scott.
Thank you.
Excellent mathematical skills and excellent skill on the court.
Yes. 2-point basket that time by Taylor Perry. Pressure. Brooklyn Badgett trying to crash through, unable to do so. Hit off one of the Fairland Dragons' foot. And why was that not called a kick, David? You know that reason.
Because it was on offense.
No, that time it did hit off a Fairland Dragons girl's foot.
Oh.
But kick it is an intentional act. Actually kicking the ball. Because it hits their foot does not make it a kick. Now, offense, as you said, cannot kick the basketball. We have a timeout, 30-second timeout. We're going to be right back on the Armstrong Sports Network. Fans, welcome back to the Fairland Dragons home court here at the Carl York Center. Downtown, beautiful Proctorville, Ohio, South Point, and the Lady Dragons of Fairland battling in an OVC matchup. South Point trails 62-26 as Haley Rollins drives the lane and is fouled. She's going to be at the line shooting 2.
Haley Rollins, only a sophomore. She works on all aspects of her game throughout the offseason. And you mentioned earlier also a very talented softball player.
Good volleyball player, does everything.
And the coaches think that she might be the best rebounder on the team. And she's an excellent shooter. You give her some space and she can hit from outside. Now I want to talk about a little bit about one of the Pointer players that's not on the court at the moment. She's taking a break on the bench, and that's Brett Justice, the senior for South Point. Just a couple weeks ago, she signed to play basketball at West Virginia Tech.
Congratulations to Miss Justice. Did not know that, and that's a great thing. Continuing her education, number one, and number two, continuing her basketball career. Fairland out front, holding the ball. Taylor Perry at the point, kicks it around, looking inside. The ball goes out of bounds. Going to be South Point ball.
That's Mackenzie Riley trying to find Jenna Fawkes. One thing I haven't seen from the Pointers tonight is any outside shooting. It's a team that, especially with Abby Winkler is the best three-point shooter on this team. We haven't seen much of her tonight. And there she is dropping 2, but she hasn't had a lot of space tonight, any open looks.
Not a lot to work with. That's only her 6th point. Brett Justice has yet to score for the Pointers. And an easy breakaway basket that time for Fairland as Mackenzie Riley scores her first 2 points.
Coming into this game, I was talking to the Fairland coaches, and they said possibly number 1 player they want to contain is Brett Justice. And wow, have they done a job of that this evening.
Winkler for 2.
Another one, and I mentioned she was somewhat of an anomaly, is the play of Brianna Bacon, and you see her guarding the ball at the moment. The Fairland coaches said that last time they played, Bree Bacon got loose a couple times and dropped a few points on him pretty quickly.
Yes, she did, and she's applying pressure right now. And we have a foul on Brianna Bacon.
Caitlin Stone and Chandler Fawkes checking back in for the Dragons.
Brianna's first foul, and it's a team first here in the second half. Fairland takes the ball on the end line. And fans, we hope you enjoyed the halftime festivities, which included the senior night. The senior night festivities. As Brooklyn Badger gets a steal to Bree Bacon. Bree had a bad, awkward angle that time. Ball is loose, and the Dragons have picked it back up. And we have a foul this time on Andrea Bradburn. That's going to be her first, team foul number 2. And at the line shooting for the Lady Dragons will be Mackenzie Riley. But we had the senior night festivities. We also saw a video of the world-famous Harlem Wizards, who's going to be here in South Point on March 17th. We hope you can make it out. David, I know you played there against them last year. I suited up last year. I looked pretty good in my outfit, not so much you.
Listen, that was an amazing time, and that's coming up March 17th. It's on a Monday evening, and it's a great time for the whole family and for everyone around the tri-state. It was a packed house last year, and it was just a lot of fun. And the kids absolutely love it, boys and girls of all ages. An amazing time, a great event for the tri-state area. And I recommend anybody to come out and have a good time with us. You know, tickets are only $8 in advance for kids. They're only $10 for adults. It's family entertainment. I'm telling you, everybody that came out last year, the comments have been so positive. As Fairland goes in for a layup and gets fouled, it's going to be a foul on Haley Rollins. That's going to be her second, team foul number 3. They had a great time there last year. And some of the local celebrities we got to play. Cody Slate is going to play this year, former Marshall and Kansas City Chief player. A young man I just talked to the other day, his name is Ty Smith. He's the star of the hit TV show on True TV. It's called Caught Red-Handed. He is a apprehension agent that travels the country. He's going to be here in time for the game as well. We have some teachers at South Point. We have some local radio personalities, including Dave and from the Dave Show. Dave Show on Key, also Jim Davis from Key, Woody from Oldies 97, Cletus Judd from 103.3 WTCR. Some of the TV people will be there. David, I think you're gonna be there as well again. I understand. I'll be there. One of the big hits last year was the Marshall University football team captain Jeremiah Taylor, a graduate of South Point. He was there and showing off his basketball skills, and he just finished up with a bowl game victory with the Herd.
He'll be there maybe as well, hooping it up. 3:33 remaining here in the fourth. The Fairland Lady Dragons lead 68-35 over the Pointers of South Point. So we do hope, if you get a chance, come out and check that out. It's a 7 o'clock game time. We hope to see everybody there. This game has started off well for both teams, but Fairland went on a run. They went from a 6-point lead to a 22-point lead in a matter of about 2 minutes.
Scott, do you promise to wear your short shorts this year?
I'll have the shorty shorts on, David. You know, when I wear those, it's almost mayhem. Yes. Shorty shorts will not be worn by me. That is a big have mercy. Now, last year, David, there was some confusion. A couple of people didn't know that we allowed this, but they said...
That's Jenna Fawkes with the basket.
Jenna Fawkes with the basket. They said those cannot be David Ashworth's legs. He must be riding a chicken. And I said, no, those are his legs. That is not a chicken he's riding. It's a 3-point basket by Abby Winkler. So I want to correct that. We do not allow poultry at South Point High School.
Well, they didn't think I was riding a chicken. They thought I was a chicken, and they said,
yes,
that is the most handsome chicken I've ever seen.
Most handsome. Yes, I agree. But we're going to have a great time. We look forward to it. As a drive that time by Fairland, unable to get the points, and Haley Rollins the rebound back to Andrea Bradburn. She looks up court to Bree Bacon on the left side. Bree looks back across the middle to Brooklyn Badgett for a 3-point shot.
Excellent
it's up
look,
and good.
And another one. Brooklyn Badgett, that's her second 3-point basket this quarter.
Yep, 3 for the night. That gives her 11 for the game.
Yeah, here's a look from Taylor Staten.
No good rebound by Fairland. Bree Dickus out front.
And it's Caitlin Stone with the shot.
No good. Haley Rollins a rebound. She does a great job of positioning herself and getting her body in position. Bree Bacon up top, no good. 2:05 remaining. 70-41, Fairland leads.
Here's the thing that you're seeing. You're still seeing starters on the floor. You're still seeing two teams battling it out. You see Coach Buchanan up. And here's a couple subs for the Dragons, including someone I mentioned earlier, number 10, Molly Morris. Also in the game is Maddie Kazee, who also had a good JV game earlier this evening.
Olivia Abner checks in for the Lady Pointers.
Olivia Abner is a champion long jumper for the Pointers track team. She's a 16-foot long jumper. And here comes Andrea Bradburn.
No shot. We have a travel. Checking in now for the Pointer, a couple of seniors, Hannah Carey and Taylor Dillow.
Taylor Dillow and Hannah Carey coming in. Hannah Carey is the daughter of Mark Carey, the infamous legend of years past.
Legend in his own mind. Yes, absolutely, Mr. Mark Carey. Hello, Mark. How are you? Glad to see you. I actually had an opportunity to play senior league baseball, or actually big league baseball with Mark several years ago. I won't say how many years, but it's been a few.
They say he was quite the player back in the day, Scott.
Yes, he was. He was also a very good baseball player. I'll be here all week.
And the Dragons are sporting a 29-point lead.
I'll expect a phone call from the Carey household when this airs.
Well, they said he wanted a shout out. He
got it.
He got a shout out.
Got a shout out. How about a shout out to Todd Wells? He's growing that beard. He looks like we have Coach Adams and we have Grizzly Adams on the sideline for the Pointers now.
What Scott's talking about is the Pointer coaching staff, and there's Coach Adams, and then you have Todd Wells, the beard grower. He's trying to do his Bradley Cooper impression.
Chia Pet.
Then you also have Coach Todd Pennington. Todd was a player on the 1990 regional team for the Pointers, and he's on his 5th year.
The clock winds down, 45 seconds. Brooklyn Badgett for 3, hits off the front of the rim. Rebound by Fairland. Caitlin Stone, she's cut off by South Point's Olivia Abner. We're going to have a held possession. Checking into the ball game, 0-0 for Fairland, who I do not have.
I believe that is a Caitlin Conwell. I don't have, that's not on my roster, but I believe that was her name. I heard her announced earlier.
Good call. South Point checks it in. Brooklyn Badgett still at the point. 35 seconds remaining. 70-41. Lady Dragons in control.
Well, it's safe to say that although the outcome and the victory, maybe a lot of people would have predicted that, but I don't think very many would have predicted this type of Dragon victory.
Not at all. We have a held possession. Fairland has the ball. 15 seconds.
And I have a correction on 0-0. It's Kayla Conwell.
Kayla Conwell, yes. And the clock is just going to run down.
So at this point, especially if you're South Point, you're looking forward to tournament time. And you have to put this behind you. This is going to be your 2nd conference loss for the Pointers. That puts them out of contention. The conference goes for the 3rd straight year to the Fairland Dragons.
Yes, it does. David, our final score, 70-41 from the Carl York Center. We'll take a look in just a moment at the final stats. We'll be right back on the Armstrong Sports Network. Fans, welcome back live here at the Carl York Center. Quick final stats. First, the visiting team and the losers tonight, the South Point Lady Pointers. Led in scoring by Abby Winkler with 11, also 11 for Brooklyn Badgett, 10 for Andrea Bradburn, 4 for Haley Rollins, and 2 apiece for Brianna Bacon and Lakin Adams for a total of 41. Fairland was led in scoring by Tara Stapleton with 16, 15 for Chandler Fawkes, all in the first half. 10 points from Caitlin Stone, all in the first half as well. 8 points for Taylor Perry, 5 for Kelsey Riley, 6 for Jenna Fawkes, 4 for Bree Dickus, 4 for Mackenzie Riley, for a total of 70 points. And again, the final score 70-41 as the Lady Dragons win the Ohio Valley Conference regular season championship. David, any last words?
No last words, but we did see some great players on the floor and some seniors, a great class of seniors from both the Dragons and the Pointers, and who are going to go on to
to some great things in their life, and we got to see them tonight. And although it was as far as score-wise, it was extremely lopsided toward the Dragons. It was a special privilege just to see those girls play one last time.